Hello, everybody. Welcome to my new solo feature of IndieCast. My brother is not joining me today. He's recovering from a very long few days at work. So, today I want to get straight to the point. A few weeks ago, I did an episode with my mother where we spoke mainly about things related to urban planning and finance and pollution and traffic and those sort of things. And that sort of brought me to an important uh, line of thought that because India is such a fast growing country and so many people are being lifted out of poverty as we speak every other day. So, one important consideration became that we need to now start thinking about larger thought out plans in urban land development and how our cities can keep up with the growing needs of the future. And this is an important discussion mainly because there's going to be millions of people still migrating to the cities because the nature of employment is such. And then a really important thing needs to be thought out whether if our cities can actually keep up with respect to the demand that comes on the infrastructure and the pressures that come on the existing infrastructure of the cities. So I just thought we'll have a discussion about this today, and I'll bring out some points that sort of affect me and that are a little important to me. I have a few guest features also lined up in this area. We will plan those out later, but I just thought I'll do this one alone because I really think that this is an important conversation. And this brings me to one important thought that we should acknowledge in how we do urban planning in India is that most city administrations or district administrations they issue this thing called a master plan, which everybody who's familiar with real estate or urban planning knows about. And master plans are a little rigid, so they will guide the policy direction of how the sort of city will go towards that. This area has to come up for residential use, this area will come up for commercial use, etc., etc. Now the problem is that the notifying of master plans is so rigid. Like I keep saying that I travel to Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh a lot. I stay in Gurgaon, so I divide time between Gurgaon, Haryana, and Bhopal in MP. What I see is that in both these places, the last notification was fairly long ago. In fact, I think in Bhopal the last notification was in 2005, and ever since then it has not been notified. Now the problem is कि आपने notification तो नहीं निकाली, but ऐसा तो नहीं है कि people are not using land, because populations will still grow and populations will still be absorbed in cities. From say villages in Madhya Pradesh, people will be absorbed into Bhopal. From all over the country, people come to Gurgaon. So the pressure will still keep adding up on the existing city, but the policy direction and policy framework will not keep up, क्योंकि भाई मतलब ज़मीन तो लोग यूज़ करते ही रहेंगे ना. So ये इवेंचुअली ये मास्टर प्लान रिजिडिटी का एक सवाल आ जाता है कि आप आपके शहर के डेवलपमेंट पे एक तरह की आर्टिफिशियल सीलिंग लग जाती है. नाउ आई ऑल्सो कीप सेइंग दैट Indians who are aspirational and are entering the higher income area, they will always say things like pollution बहुत ज़्यादा है, टैक्स पेयर मनी की इज्जत नहीं है इंडिया में. और टू एन एक्सटेंट वो बात जायज़ भी है, बिकॉज if you do see the lack of public accountability against the amount of taxation burden that is on the average individual, it is pretty high. बट उसमें मेन मैनिफेस्टेशन होता है इन अर्बन प्लानिंग इश्यूज से रिलेटेड ही. हमेशा ट्रैफिक हमेशा बढ़ जाता है, बारिश होती है तो रोड्स पे पॉट होल आ जाते हैं. कहीं ना कहीं ये सब हमारी लैक ऑफ अर्बन प्लानिंग से ही रिलेटेड है. और तभी ये हाई इनकम लोगों पे भी एक तरह का प्रेशर डालता है कि इंडिया में एक्चुअली एडुकेटेड एस्पिरेशनल डेमोग्राफिक की उतनी इज्जत नहीं है. सो दिस अनफॉर्चुनेटली for us Indians causes a lot of capital outflow from our country also, because we keep hearing about how many people are withdrawing giving up their Indian citizenships, moving to countries like Dubai and all of that. So countries like UAE and all of that. So the idea is to address these issues, or at the very least chart out a set of problems that can improve perhaps our urban land development policies going forward. एक बड़ी आप एक लार्जर व्यू लें तो दिखता है कि आईएएस ऑफिसर्स, and I don't want to do bureaucrat bashing, it seems a little lazy to me sometimes, but many of them are not incentivized to take a long term view, क्योंकि आज वो किसी डिस्ट्रिक्ट का कलेक्टर है, कल वो किसी और डिस्ट्रिक्ट का कलेक्टर होगा, इवेंचुअली ही विल गो टू द स्टेट सेक्रेटेरिएट और ही विल गो ऑन डेप्यूटेशन टू अ यूनियन गवर्नमेंट, टू द यूनियन गवर्नमेंट इन unrelated department. So nobody has a long term skin in the game. Nobody is planning for the long term because nobody is got that much skin in the game. और इसमें हम लोग अपने लोकल एडमिनिस्ट्रेशंस की एक वीकनिंग ऑफ पावर को भी नोट कर सकते हैं, बिकॉज वी डोंट केयर दैट मच अबाउट से आर म्यूनिसिपल इलेक्शंस. आई डोंट रियली थिंक दैट पीपल हु केयर दैट मच अबाउट आर असेंबली इलेक्शंस, जैसे अभी बिहार असेंबली इलेक्शंस रैप अप हुए, और आर लोकसभा इलेक्शंस विच इज़ अ वेरी पोलराइजिंग नेशनल इशू. Very few of us will actually engage that much with our corporators or our local in the bureaucracy with our tehsildars and all of that. Yet the largest burden on us will be felt by their actions. So it's a very raw, very basic understanding, but I think most people don't account for these things. So matlab, I think 2 points that I'm getting at is that our master planning is too rigid in India. It rarely comes, it hardly ever keeps up for the growing need of the population, and it leaves us with no incentive to develop the existing infrastructure anywhere. किसी के पास लॉन्ग टर्म प्लानिंग करने का और एक सिटी के प्रेजेंट एग्जिस्टिंग इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को सस्टेन करने का कोई भी इंसेंटिव नहीं है, विच in a weird way leads to a lot of builders building these communities sort of gated and away from the chaos and haphazardness of the city, which I don't really think is a bad thing. I am a capitalist at heart. I don't think builders making profits is a bad thing, but I don't think that their line of thought to advertise this should be कि देखो बाहर तो सड़कें और म्यूनिसिपल प्लानिंग बहुत ख़राब है, तो आप हमारे ओएसिस में आ जाओ और आप इन इश्यूज से गार्डेड रहोगे. ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम दैट इज़ व्हाट गेटेड हाउसिंग हैज़ डन इन इंडिया, विच इज़ in a very strange way withdrawing other people of their dignity to of being housed in at least dignified spaces. मतलब आप EWS हाउसिंग भी देख लो तो कहीं ना कहीं अगर प्लानिंग से करी जाए तो EWS हाउसिंग कैन ऑल्सो बी डिग्निफाइड. आई एम नॉट सेइंग कि इकोनॉमिक इनइक्वालिटी नहीं होगी, इकोनॉमिक इनइक्वालिटी हर सिस्टम में रहेगी, इवन द कोट एंड कोट परफेक्ट सिस्टम में रहेगी, मगर क्या जो मार्जिन्स पे लोग हैं उनको इतनी पुअर हाउसिंग में रहने की ज़रूरत है, और इतनी पुअर स्टेट कैपेसिटी है क्या हमारी कि हम लोग एक बस्ती से अभी भी कॉन्क्रेटाइज नहीं कर पा रहे हैं बहुत जगह पे. इसमें आई विल एक्नॉलेज देयर हैज़ बीन अ लॉट ऑफ प्रोग्रेस बाय द प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना, and that is credit to the incumbent government of India. But I think it's hardly even close to the amount of people that still lack dignity in their housing. So जो lack of dignity in housing भी है, वो भी एक तरह से हमारी अर्बन प्लानिंग इश्यूज से ही रिलेटेड है, क्योंकि ये रिजिडिटी जब आ जाती है तो बहुत सारी चीज़ों पे एक तरह की एक रोक लग जाती है. फॉर एग्जांपल, इफ़ एन एरिया एक्सीड्स द मास्टर प्लान, सो यू विल से if its jurisdiction exceeds the bound of the master plan, so you will say that we are not allowed to develop in that area, and we are not allowed to take up projects in that area as a developer or a builder. But ऐसा तो नहीं है कि लोग नहीं पहुंचेंगे वहाँ पे. सो व्हाट विल दे डू व्हेन व्हेन देयर इज नो इंसेंटिव टू डेवलप इट फॉर्मली, बट पीपल आर ऑक्यूपाइंग दो स्पेसेस? द नेचुरल फर्स्ट आउटकम विल बी the existence of slums and bastis and those kind of informal settlements, which I'm not saying it from a economically urban affluent view that slums are bad. But I do think that even the people who live in these informal settlements are not even being guarded against the most basic, the most basic things that housing needs to provide you. They're not being guarded against rains. Their informal settlements can be broken and demolished anytime, क्योंकि हम एक formal planning नहीं कर रहे, तो in any which way वो unauthorized existence हो गई. तो unauthorized existence हो सकती है, तो कभी भी डिप्टी कमिश्नर या डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर जेसीबी भेज के आपकी शैंटीज और बस्ती को तोड़ फोड़ कर सकता है, और फिर इवेंचुअली 10 20 25 दिन में वहाँ पे वापस इनफॉर्मल सेटलमेंट्स हो जाएंगे. तो ये एक सिवियर लैक ऑफ प्लानिंग और लैक ऑफ इमेजिनेशन इंडिकेट कर रहा है. यहाँ पर अभी भी there has been no serious attempt to take up urban land development on part of the government, and in fact I see a lot of potential here on part of a PPP kind of a model to develop these existing land parcels around cities, where cities are growing but their demand and the requirement for the city's growth is not being kept up with from the policy makers view. This also creates a huge imbalance in the financial valuation of large land parcels, because the supply of largely approved land parcels in India has over time become so small that it automatically inflates its pricing. कि आप एक जगह पे मान लीजिए किसी रेप्यूटेड बिल्डर ने ही इज एबल टू डू सम प्लॉटिंग, and around that area are large informal settlements, many disputed colonies, many areas where the existing villagers have not been compensated, and yet some informal real estate setup has come up. So in between all this, if you are able to create one enclave of some RERA approved kind of plots, what will happen is that उनकी वैल्यू बहुत ज़्यादा आर्टिफिशियली इन्फ्लेट हो जाएगी. Their value gets so artificially inflated that you will see many people who just invested in one plot, say in the 1970s, and now it's at 20 30 crores. That person might not necessarily be liquid. He might be making not more than 1 lakh, 1.5 lakhs rupees a month, and financially that is a good investment. But I'm also saying that uh, the supply of approved land parcels has created a huge inflation of existing land parcels that would not necessarily exist in a fair market. I think that is my assertion, because people are not spending time increasing the supply of approved land in India. अच्छा, आप लैंड बना तो नहीं सकते, बट आई ऑल्सो थिंक दैट यू कैन अश्योर अ सर्टन डिग्री ऑफ increase in supply of land resources in India just by planning better. और हमने जब वो प्लानिंग ही नहीं की, तो हम आगे की जस्टिफिकेशन कैसे दे सकते हैं कि यार ज़मीन बहुत कम है, गरीबी बहुत बढ़ गई है, तो हम लोगों को उनकी बेसिक डिग्निटी भी नहीं देंगे हाउसिंग में. और ये सारे इश्यूज इतनी बुरी तरह टाइड इन है हमारे म्यूनिसिपल गवर्नेंस में भी. मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ दैट in Delhi, NCR, and in Gurgaon, there are hundreds of disputed colonies. What happens here is that many times, okay, by the way, the judicial and the dispute resolution mechanism is so slow in India कि 7 से 20 साल तक आपका केस तो चलता ही रहेगा. उस बीच में भी जो स्टेक होल्डर्स हैं उस पर्टिकुलर लैंड पार्सल के, वो उस ज़मीन को मोस्ट लाइकली खाली नहीं छोड़ रहे हैं, तो वहाँ पे भी कुछ ना कुछ चल रहा होता है. सो टिपिकली व्हाट पीपल विल डू इज़ दैट ओके, दिस पीस ऑफ लैंड इज़ नॉट अप्रूव्ड, तो उस पर मैं कुछ छोटी सी ऐसे वेयर हाउस या दुकान बना देता हूँ. और बहुत बार ये रेजिडेंशियल एरियाज़ में आ जाते हैं, तो बहुत बार ये रेजिडेंशियल एरिया में कमर्शियल ऑपरेशंस के बिहाइंड भी इसी तरह का लॉजिक होता है. तो प्लानिंग नहीं हुई, किसी ने कुछ ऐसा छोटा वेयर हाउस टाइप कुछ बना लिया, या बहुत सारे लोग रेजिडेंशियल प्लॉट्स पे पार्किंग लॉट्स खोल देते हैं, उससे भी सराउंडिंग एरियाज के रेजिडेंट्स को बहुत मेनेस आने लगती है. व्हाट हैपन्स बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इज वी स्टार्ट कंप्लेनिंग अबाउट अदर इशूज लाइक पुअर वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट, बिकॉज मेनी टाइम्स दीज कमर्शियल ऑपरेशंस विल जनरेट अ लॉट ऑफ वेस्ट, बट वो हमारे रेजिडेंशियल एरियाज को बहुत जल्दी एनक्रोच कर लेते हैं, बिकॉज हमने वो लाइन ही नहीं बनाई. From the side of the planner and the policy maker, the line has not been drawn and it has not never been enforced. तो वो डिस्प्यूट में चल रहा है, लोगों को लग रहा है यार ये ज़मीन तो ऐसी खाली पड़ी हुई है, इस पे एक दुकान खुलवा देते हैं, दुकान चल रही है वहाँ पे, उसमें जो भी दुकान से वेस्ट जनरेट हो रहा है वो भी वहीं जा रहा है, कूड़े को साफ़ करने म्यूनिसिपल कॉरपोरेशन भी ज़्यादा नहीं आ रही, वो बोलेंगे उस एरिया में तो डिस्प्यूट चल रही है, रहने दो, हमारे पास कोई इंसेंटिव नहीं है ऑपरेट करने का. सो दीज इश्यूज जस्ट कीप ईटिंग इन टू ईच अदर, बट people are still, you know, earning from whatever sources that they have, so their ambition is increasing, and now it's reaching a phase where the pressures of these lack of urban planning issues is ballooning so much that many Indians very unfortunately are finding it easier to just take all their earnings and move abroad. This is a very unfortunate thing with respect to a capital outflow kind of loss for India, because we are losing maybe hundreds and thousands of crores every year just because our urban planning is not keeping up with the needs of the day. And I have not even started talking about Inspector Raj and bribery and those kind of things. But if you look at it from the perspective that town and country planning department should ideally exist to enforce the planning issues which I'm talking about. However, over time in India, these town and country planning departments have become a, permission giving and demolition kind of organizations. So not only do they not uh, incentivize any kind of larger planning view, what they end up doing is that they are basically demolishers and rent seeking permission authorities. So if you have for example many partially informal kind of setups in Gurgaon, you may be allowed to exist in a certain way. Maybe someday at a very arbitrary level, you are running a shop, DTCP will come and they'll demolish your shop. So all this leads to a lot of lack of clarity. Actually, sorry, I shouldn't have said lot. This leads to so much lack of clarity in policy direction that it is just easier to invest the next set of large money that you receive somewhere abroad. Nobody finds it worthy to invest within India. Even government officials themselves, they see how broken the system is. So at a personal level, many times after retirement, they are also investing maybe in another country or in very small urban scapes, which are at least guarded from the realities of the rest of the country, because urban planning's pressures are really ballooning nowadays, and it's reached a phase where we will now need to start addressing these problems. तो मुझे तो फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट ये तो लगता ही है कि वी नीड टू रिफॉर्म द वे वी लुक एट आर DTCP, TNCP, टाउन एंड कंट्री प्लानिंग काइंड ऑफ ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, बिकॉज दे नीड टू कम आउट ऑफ अ फेज वेयर दे act like a thanedar. Then they need to become planners, and they need to become planners who move together with the residents and with the growing population. But right now they just focus like a very colonial Inspector Raj kind of organization, and that really backfires, and we suffer the burden of it as Indians. And I think we also need to start really rewarding IAS officers who perhaps take the initiative to develop urban land development in their districts. Maybe say that a district collector who did a very good job in urban land development can get empaneled quicker at the government of India. He can, we can use Niti Aayog to use that as a flagship kind of example for other states. It's not like there's not good examples in India, but there's just such few. I also think this is an area where पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप हैज़ अ लॉट ऑफ स्कोप, और वो हमने दिल्ली NCR में तो एटलीस्ट होते हुए देखा है, बिकॉज देर आर एरियाज विच हैव बिन डेवलप्ड फेयरली वेल बाय द DLF, एंड दैट केम विद लॉट ऑफ ग्रेट कोऑपरेशन फ्रॉम द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ हरियाणा. सो इट्स नॉट लाइक PPP can't happen in urban land development, but the पॉलिसी डायरेक्शंस आर जस्ट सो अनक्लियर. किसी की सरकार आती है, वो नई सरकार आएगी, बोलेगी हम पिछले का प्रोजेक्ट नहीं होने देंगे, फिर वो उसके एग्जिस्टिंग ऑफिसर्स को रिप्लेस कर देंगी, और इस सब का बर्डन आफ्टर अ पॉइंट प्लानर्स और पॉलिटिशियंस भी नहीं दे रहे. इसका बर्डन आप और मैं फेस करते हैं एज पीपल, एंड आई थिंक पीपल जस्ट जनरली डोंट लाइक लिविंग इन एरियाज वेयर pollution is so high, traffic is so heavy, and people living below a certain group of income don't even have access to basic dignity in living. And I think, I have so much more to add in this conversation. I have so many more people to bring about and have these conversations with them. And we will keep doing that. But I think I wanted to just start off this new series where we speak about urban land development, we speak about development of uh, cities in a way that is uh, concurrent with the government's own view of building smart cities. Maybe we can start seeing where the effort needs to be, from a policy perspective, enhanced, so that a lot of urban land development goals can meet the needs of the future. And we talk about Viksit Bharat in a policy perspective, and it's this is a very important facet of that. So thank you for joining me. uh, Please give me feedback on how you received this conversation, how you would like me to kind of take this conversation further, what kind of guests you would want to hear on this feature. And yeah, keep tuning into IndieCast. Thank you.